Superman up in the sky. This is issue 1, of course. Andy Kubert's on the art. So me and Connor read this.
Yeah, and these are out of continuity tales.
Yeah, out of continuity. And because there's little things like Clark's parents are still alive, and things like that just there doesn't seem to be a John anywhere. It's just kind of
not out of continuity for much longer. Just give Doomsday Clock some time.
So, and it is very much part 1 and 2 of a story. There's a little part 2 where the second part starts. Where it would have been split up. Originally. So this story is actually I actually laughed because the first line of narration is actually Batman, and it just made me laugh because it's Tom King and he's been writing Batman for years, and like he's done a Superman story, and the first thing he does is Batman narration, but it's Batman actually calling in Superman because there's been a horrible murder in Gotham, and this couple were killed, but they were foster parents, and of the 4 girls who they were fostering, 2 of them were killed too. 1 is missing, and 1 is in the hospital with a bullet wound. And he calls in Clark to say, hey, can you go and speak to the girl who's in the hospital? I was like, okay, that's kind of sweet. And he tells her this story about how the girl who's missing, like, kind of stole her Superman toy, because Superman's her favourite.
But yeah, basically, the neighbor gave them all superhero toys, and hers was actually the Superman one. But her sister Alice, always took it off her because Superman was her favorite, so she got stuck with someone else. Yeah.
So the story of this issue, because the girl eventually dies as well. We find out like 2-3 days later that the girl passes away in hospital. But the story here is that Superman tries to look into what happened. Someone, because she says the guy was in like a space suit of some kind.
Yeah, he was in a spaceman suit, and and he took her, and he goes, "Oh, where did he take her?" She goes, "Oh, up in the sky."
Yeah, so he asked like Green Lantern and like Adam Strange, because it may be like Zeta Beam tech, or whatever, what's going on, and they're like, "Oh, it's going to be impossible to find her. Like, we don't know where to look," kind of thing. So the story of these two parts in this issue is basically Superman struggling with the dilemma of, should he leave Earth for what could be months to try and save one little girl?
And leave Earth undefended, because it constantly shows us there's stuff constantly going on. Perry doesn't want him to take any time off to go and cover this in Gotham, because it's like, it's Gotham, who cares?
Yeah.
And then even Lois is like, yeah, but knowing our luck, as soon as you go, Lex and Brainiac will all attack in that week.
Yeah, and she's like, I'll try not to fall off any buildings while you're gone. I'm not promising anything, but I'll try.
Yeah, she's like, it's kind of a character trait, but I'll try.
But the one person who kind of pep talks him into going in a way is actually Jonathan Kent. It's he's talking to him. He doesn't say you should go as such, but he kind of just sort of reiterates how important and how he can't just let one person go. It's like, I can't save everyone. Well, no, but you could save her.
It's constant. It's that class. They need me here, and he's like, yeah, suppose they do. So I can't just go flying off after one girl. No, I suppose you can't. And so in class, they'll find her. He goes, yeah, suppose they will.
Yeah, but
unless they don't.
But he finds out the other girl died, and he actually the first part ends with him flying off into space, and now he's going. And then the second part is he goes to Ran and basically wants to look through their records of Zeta Beam, just usage,
and they're like, they because we learned earlier in the first part that they weren't giving the Green Lanterns access to the data. And it turns out it's not just that they're being awkward, it's that they have so much data of every Zeta, everywhere at once, that tracking it is kind of impossible. They brought in like this 3rd level computer. The first level is used to build stars. 3rd level is beyond Superman's understanding. After 2 minutes, it just self-destructed, destroyed all its code, and just left one line saying, "I can't."
Yeah, so Superman hooks himself into it, and the guy's like, "No, you're going to die. Like, if you do this, you're going to die."
It wasn't just going to die; he'll go mad as well.
Yeah. So I didn't like the second part as much, because a lot of the second part was like, once he puts the thing on, it's like a lot of random scenes of him like in like a dream world.
Yeah, and like some of them were in like Lois and the spelling. How many R's in corrupt? How many L's in politician?
Yeah.
How many M's in peach? There should be a machine that does this for you.
Yeah, there is Lois.
There is. It's class you.
But the whole point is that he eventually sees a little girl in the Zeta Beam like dream world, and she mentions kind of in not saying that's where, but mentions the planet that they're going to, that the guy was taking her to, so he knows where to go. So we end the second part with him knowing where to go now. So that's kind of the first two parts in this issue. Did you like it? How did you feel about this?
Yeah, I liked the first part a lot. Second part, the disconnected scenes I was feeling just a bit meandering. I thought mostly, how I sometimes have a problem with Tom King and the voices sounding similar.
Mm-hmm.
Most characters were fine, but weirdly, Batman and Superman both sounded pretty much identical, which was a bit annoying. It wasn't like Superman and everyone else though, which is what most of the issue actually is. They were kind of pretty distinct, but those two kind of sounded pretty much the same, which was a little frustrating.
I did like, actually, before he leaves, Superman's like, how do I even try and find her? And Batman's like, well, just do what I do, but do it up there. Like, follow the clues, follow the path of logic, and you'll get to her. He's giving him detective advice, basically. No, I actually quite liked it. I do agree. I think the second part was weaker because of the stuff in the Zeta Beam, like, data was a bit, just whatever. But
meandering, wasn't it?
I actually really liked the first part a lot, and I like the general concept of what it is and what it's doing.
And how long has it been since we've had a good John Kent speech?
It's been a while. And obviously this came out like a year ago or whatever, but like it's nice to be reminded that King can actually do a nice, compelling story.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
It is possible he can do those.
Yeah, no, I'm down for reading issue 2 and seeing where it goes.
Too.
Because I feel like the whole in the Zeta Beam thing or the data was like, okay, that's done now. So unless he comes up with another reason to do like another meandering like thing like that.
Yeah, I hope not. But now it should be just follow the lead, save the girl, which was like Batman said in theory.
Yeah, maybe it helps it actually that we got it as like 2 parts at once, because it wasn't just on its own. If we had that on its own, it may be a bit more.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot more frustrating if you got just that.
But because we got 2 of them together, I feel a lot more positive about it after the fact.
I think Kubert does a great job, and Anderson in the colors is particularly fantastic. The dark oranges, the sunset in Gotham,
mm-hmm.
and then all the stuff in space, and it looks great.
I just add on here at the end, I love the idea of Batman calling in Superman, not because there's something heavy that he's picked up, but because his personality is needed, like his, how he speaks to people is needed. I think is a really interesting idea. It's a morale thing for someone. So, I thought that was a really interesting idea. What are you giving it?
I'll just about give it an 8. I think because I quite like the art. If that second part had been better, it probably would have been higher.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8 as well. I think it was solid. I'm looking forward to trying out some of these other Walmart specials. I mean, some I'm sure I'll stick with, some I won't. But I think I'm down to try issue 2 of this and see where it's going.
Yeah.